And yeah, everyone, this is Thermites, and this is a reread of the Kishin Resurrection arc of Soul Eater. Basically, in the past, I have read this arc. I feel like I remember enough of it that I can't just like do another like blind reaction to it. At the same time, I know that I've forgotten so much of it that I probably could. So it's a 50-50, you know? I figured it might be interesting just to, as I need to take notes anyways, like I gotta reread these chapters anyways, I may as well write down what I'm thinking as I'm going through it. So that'll also allow me to, like, take notes, have a video for reference, and hopefully this video will be fun. In order to, like, I probably will just have straight up things I do not remember in any way whatsoever, which will be fun to talk about. But also, I think for the next arc, whatever we're gonna do next, it'll be interesting to, like, to have my full thought process on everything up to that point. So you know where I'm coming from with everything. Also, fingers crossed, hopefully this will come out in October. Who can say with how fucked my schedule is? But, fingers crossed. This might be my Halloween thing. We'll see. I've been talking about it a little bit. So let's just go right in. Listen to the beat of the soul. I don't actually remember anything about, like, the structure of these volumes. I know there's, of course, Atsushia at the very end. We'll see how that goes. I remember not liking it, but new me, new concepts. Maybe I'll finally be able to appreciate it. But yeah, I'm curious, like, is this going to happen every time? Is this, like, the tagline of this volume, or is it the tagline of the series? Also, I haven't even gotten into the first prologue, but I did want to say right at the top, the structure of the series, like the structure of Volume 1 is so fucking crazy to me. I've never seen another series that's been able to do this. Like, it is Prologue 1, Prologue 2, Prologue 3, and then Chapter 1. And I mean, we'll go into the chapters as I, like, actually read them, but I just wanted to shout that out because that is genuinely so insanely cool. I do think that, like, how do I put it? I am really bad when it comes to casts. If I see 5 individual characters in a first chapter, I immediately start going, oh no, I'm kind of queasy. If it's like 7, that's when I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know if I want to read this anymore. And Soul Eater, as far as I remember, has, like, essentially a 6-person cast. So as we're going through these, I'm very curious to see how each prologue feels as a prologue, because it is a really smart way to introduce a ton of characters, while also, like doing an individual story for each one before we then do chapter 1, which I don't even remember what chapter 1 was. Like, I'm pretty sure what I think chapter 1 is what the prologue's gonna be. We'll see. Prologue 1, Soul Eater. Jesus fucking Christ. Right off the top, what the fuck is going on here? Oh my god. This is Jack the Ripper. Oh, fuck me. This guy's human, right? That's also very strange. He is human. What the fuck is going on here? It ain't looks or form that matter. It's the soul that's important. How did he become like this? Like, yeah, he's just a guy. But, like, what the fuck? Number 99, super easy, barely a breeze. I mean, it's honestly crazy to consider that, yeah, like, Maka and Soul are characters who at the very start of the series, a couple pages in, have already verifiably killed, like, 99 people. Nuts. Insane. It takes so long for, like, Guts to be able to do that. What the fuck? Oh, like, I know this is a play on, like, the way that souls look in, like, Japanese, like, mythology, but also, god damn, that is the most egg and sperm ass soul I've seen in my entire life. Like, it is just the line here that gives off that impression, as opposed to, like, a normal, like, what is that called again? It's just a floating, like, Hinotama ass soul. All right, down the hatch. Oh, we don't get Maka's first name, or sorry, her, like, last name. Interesting. All right, go to a mirror, call up Shinigami-sama. Man, Shinigami looks so fucking cool. I've never considered this. Is his mask supposed to be, like, 3 souls combining? Like, in the same way that, like, this is, like, soul and tail. Is this, like, soul, tail, tail, tail? Oh, right. Maka's mom was also a Scythemeister. When I first read the series, I don't know if it ever occurred to me that, like, oh, Perhaps Maka's mother is going to show up. Should really write that down. Also, I don't know what I would bring this up. Like, it's specifically the mention of Maka's mom that triggered this in my mind, but how do I put it? This is strange because, of course, chronologically this is wrong, but I'm curious to see how much like Ruby is going to influence the way in which I read Soul Eater, because like the vibe is pretty similar. Like Maka especially is like like I don't know if I would say she's like Ruby necessarily, but like like visually and like aesthetically, there's definitely some inspiration there. I would be super 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 insanely surprised if that was like if like on the Monty napkin, if Soul Eater wasn't like top of the list in terms of like stuff that you want to do. Or rather, the aesthetic of like Soul Eater, I would say, is like just sort of Halloween core, whereas like the aesthetic of Ruby is like Soul Eater kind of meets Nightmare Before Christmas, like in the sense of like there's no like magic in the Nightmare Before Christmas, like it is all like everything in Halloween, like Halloween Town is all like mechanical, even the like swirly thing that like extends. Whereas like when you go to like Santa's place, that's all magic. Like Ruby really feels like it is like it really wants to do that contrast of like the hunters use like science and machinery and stuff, and there is stuff out there that is straight magic, but like they can never reach those heights. That is still something that's really weird and spooky and strange. Whereas like I definitely don't get that vibe from Soul Eater. Soul Eater feels way more like just, I mean, I guess to be fair, we'll see how it goes. Like in terms of like what is just crazy 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 all the time and what is like way more structured. Oh, also, the reason I brought that up, sorry, I should probably straighten out my brain for a second, but the reason I brought up Ruby here was specifically because it really didn't occur to me until I like just sat in bed thinking about like Soul Eater, that like Soul Eater and Ruby are also both series that are a like every story is kind of represented in a sense. Like Soul Eater is a world where like like the Jack the Ripper is there, and I know Al Capone is also there very early on. There's like a bunch of just like any story that is a thing is around in some way, including like mythology, including like like real worlds, like people who did big things that would then be immortalized, the stories, including just like weird mythology and whatnot, or like like superstitions. It's all that all of that stuff is real in the way that we perceive it, in the same way like this is not the way we have ever perceived Jack the Ripper. It's not like it's a like the world's not molded based on our world, as far as I know. It is just more of a like all this stuff will play out within this world. Everything is kind, like I imagine the Wikipedia articles have a lot of like, by the way, this is a reference to this. And Ruby is very similar in a much more straightforward way, in a like, no, literally everything that you see is based on something. But like, I don't know, like, I would be very curious to see what if anything is Maka based on besides just the concept of the Reaper's daughter. Like that one Discworld book, maybe? I mean, I suppose also, to be fair, the move with any main character in a story like that can also just be, this is their story. This is their mythology. That's why they're not based on anything. But I don't think that, that like Blackstar and Kid are based on like anyone, quote unquote, so I might just be wrong. Perhaps the series can just have some references here and there. We'll see. I'll try to like cite things as they come up. Man, what is wrong with Maka's dad? How did he become like this? What happened? But okay, let's get back to the witch. By eating the souls of 99 humans and one witch, soul can become the death scythe. But the problem is that final witch's soul. I've seen more scythemeisters die in their battles with witches than I'd care to remember. Why do you want another death scythe? Like, I can see your death. I mean, how do I put it? I can understand it on a personality level of you just don't want to hang out with Maka's dad. This is a very understandable, like, like impulse. But, like, this specific contrast of, like, I've seen more Scythemeisters die in their battles with witches than I care to remember. That is really striking. That is a clear, like, I don't like the idea of you like, potentially fighting a witch and dying. But also, you clearly want her to do this. It's like, what is the impulse there? Like, why do you need another scythe? You got one. There's something inherently really funny about Shinigami having to fight his own weapon because it's too cringe. Oh, one of my top 3 favorite characters in the series. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know, as much as I like Blair, I don't know what the fuck, like, for what purpose? Why do you like Pumpkin so much? Also, I'm just gonna say straight out, I remember the twist of this prologue, so I'm gonna say directly, this is definitely cheating. Like, Ohkubo, you can't have your cake and eat it too on this one. You can't say she is a witch and then say afterwards, I never said she was a witch. You can't put it in the text box. It's also not necessary. Like, for everyone else, I get the idea of, like, you gotta say what their deal is. Even Shinigami-sama, like, that's mysterious. It's just like, this is Shinigami-sama. We're not gonna explain what the deal is. Presumably you can imagine the deal, kind of. Why can't we imagine the deal with Blair? Jesus Christ, Soul. Oh my god. You're gonna die. You're gonna 100% die doing this. Also, wait, you made him. This does raise a question. What is a weapon? What is a weapon? I didn't really consider this. Like, how do you put it? When we said directly, yeah, like, I want you to make an even better death scythe than your mother did. Like, did her mom make her dad? Did she physically do that? Or, like, was he a guy beforehand? Like, are we saying make as in, like, turning, like, like a weapon that is a kind of person into a death scythe? Or are we saying specifically, no, there was no body, and then you made a guy, and then you turned that guy into death scythe eventually? That's a big difference. I don't know if I've ever considered this, but okay, let's go. Let's go. Jesus Christ. They are quadruple dead in this instance. Like, if Blair wanted to kill them, they would be dead 5 times over at this point. Dear God. I genuinely don't know if she's actually worried about him or if she's just doing this for the bits. Man. The big eye on on Soul when he turns into a scythe is very striking. Like, it is an interesting mix of, like, because there's no, like, eyelashes or, like, it doesn't blink. I mean, I haven't seen it blink yet. Maybe it can blink. But if it doesn't, like, that does make it feel more, like, artificial, which I think really helps. It's such an interesting balance. Like, it's not like an animated blade, like a Fairly Odd Parents type scythe, but it's also, not just like, oh, and then I turn into a normal ass scythe. Oh, that's his mouth. Oh my god, I don't think I've ever noticed that. Oh my god. I said that the aesthetic of Soul Eater was Halloween, but I do think, like, if we're assigning, like, concepts to characters, Blair is definitely the most Halloween character. Like, from top to bottom. Like, you got the pumpkins, you got the cat, you got the witch, and you have just straight up the Halloween canon. God damn, I guess that's also why I think of, like, the entire aesthetic of the series, and honestly, even Ohkubo's, like, aesthetic outside of Soul Eater, like, going into Fire Force, like, it does have a very, like, Halloween-y energy to it, but I think it also is just truly just front-loading the series. Like, if you're thinking about the vibes of any series, you're thinking about the very, very start, because that's where it, like, really gets to imprint itself. Anything a series does later can be different, but it's usually not going to be your default unless it's extremely, extremely striking. So yeah, Kubo, I think, knew what he was doing. It's also, like, it's simultaneously a super popular, like aesthetic vibe, however you want to put it. Halloween is super big. It's getting even bigger nowadays because, of course, it is the last quote-unquote apolitical holiday, and therefore now in Canada, Halloween starts in, when was it this year? Like, July is when all the Halloween stuff comes out, and it will almost certainly not disappear until, like, October, when everything then needs to disappear in order for Christmas. So if nothing, it is like, it has aged insanely well in terms of look, and it also does not have a ton of competition. There are very few like things that I look at and think this is 100% Halloween core. Like, even despite that, it's so strange. Like, if you try to look up like the scary movies that you should watch on Halloween, it's hard to get a number that actually do feel like Halloweeny movies as opposed to just, general scary movies. It's so surprising. Like, we don't have the Hallmark like holiday industry breathing down our necks making 15 Halloween-esque movies every October. It's free land. I can't believe people aren't going crazy over it. Meanwhile, speaking of going crazy over it, listen, I don't want to blame these girls, but when you can choose any alias you want, and you went with Risa and Arisa, insane. I guess the move is to be a combo, actually. Never mind. That makes sense. That's fine. Did you make him buy water for you? What is happening here? Oh, the water's for him. Okay, you know what? Fair enough. You know how Death Scythe-sama has a bad habit of chasing after women, right? Well, that got him into trouble with his wife. Now he's in the middle of getting a divorce. His daughter hates him so much that she became a Scythemeister just so she could make an even better Scythe than Death Scythe. Insane. Oh, that is bonkers. That also raises the question, did Maka's mom make him this way? Did she make him wrong as a gag? Or is he just like this unrelatedly? Or I guess thirdly, is it because his wife created him and now he hangs out with some guy all day? Is that why he started cheating on his wife? Don't get me wrong, if I turned into Death's weapon, I would stay faithful to the person I love. But I can kind of understand the implication. If he doesn't actually get to talk to his wife, and he kind of just has to hang out with a guy who I also don't know what is Shinigami? Huh. That's going on the list. Yeah, Shinigami is actually a really good example of a classic, introduce a concept in chapter 1, and you're not going to think about it. Until literally right now, I've never considered what is going on with Shinigami, because is he just a dude? Is he a weapon? Is he a Meister? Is he like literally like a spirit or something? Like, what is actually going on there? Him stopping mid-flee to say, yeah, I will come again. What happened to this man? Why are you like this? Oh my god, this is the next day? Hold on. I did not realize this, this one shot took place over more than one day. So they got their asses beat. They left. Yeah. You know what? I thought we were just cutting away for a second. I didn't realize this is where it ended. Like, okay, so they beat her. Like, she beat them with the Halloween cannon. She didn't kill them. She probably could have. I assume she didn't because she was screwing around. So we're at Blair 1, Maka and Soul 0. This is a fundamental, Maka fundamentally understand, she does not understand what it takes to become the Death Scythe. Or rather, I suppose, if Soul is just a super giga perv for the entire series, he'll never become the kind of Death Scythe that she wants to make. But, her dad is the existing Death Scythe. We did do an entire cutaway, I guess, just to explain specifically that, yes, you can be a loser who immediately loses to seeing any amount of skin and still be the Death Scythe. You can be Shinigami's weapon and be, the worst. She's just holding herself to a higher quality, Oh my god. Okay, that was it. Okay, we're at 0 for 2. Today I've got my plan all written out on this paper. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to take away my whole Blair is the most Halloween. Because I guess, she's also multiple things. Yeah, I didn't consider that she's named after the Blair Witch Project. God damn it. That's so obvious. That's so clear. She's literally the Blair Witch. Dear God. 0 for 3. They are triple dead, not counting the number of times they would have died the first time around. They are so unbelievably lucky that they didn't fight a legit ass witch. This is Blair round 4. I don't know if I'm rooting for them anymore. Jesus Christ, how are you this bad? But I do see the contrast. It is, she naturally creates this harmony between the two of them. Soul gets horny. Maka, sees her dad within Soul and realizes, I hate this guy. Soul, meanwhile, gets hit with the big Sukomi and is like, well, fuck you. What did I do wrong? he can do like expressive gags like this. Damn, cool. God, Blair's legitimately so fucking cool. Like, honestly, I do feel like she does like Soul a little bit. Not in that way, but I think in a genuine, like, it would be cool to have a cool scythe guy hanging around. Or I guess to have a loser scythe guy hanging around. Because, yeah, she's gonna just straight up kill Maka. The angle here is nuts. Look at that. This is a peak, like, manga showdown. Holy shit. Wait, she's transforming her arms? Wait, what? Oh, that's so sick. Also, it's pretty obvious, but the triple triangle design of her pumpkins is also just so sick. It looks so good. Like, truly, I do think Ohkubo is just insanely good at making things hard in the right places and making things soft in the right places. Like, the tiny little bit of fisheye here, the way the ground is, like, breaking apart, and you're getting a little bit of the rubble coming up, but it's not overdone. The way that, like, the sky is super white here to contrast against Blair. I mean, even, Blair's design, like, like, the hard two-tone of her legs, like, also, like, with the light bouncing off of them, like, her hat, the way her hat curves is, like, exactly what I was thinking about with the spinny, like, like, the thing in The Nightmare Before Christmas. What was that? I guess it's just like, like the edge of a cliff, right? But yeah, the hardness and sharpness, I think, it's so striking in that, like, I'm so used to, like, more mechanical stuff being very hard and very sharp, but, like, Soul Eater definitely uses it way more in a playful way. Jesus fucking Christ, you can do this? It can talk? What the fuck? What does this have to do with pumpkins? Are you just a guy? Oh... Maka's pretty good with a scythe. I gotta give it to her. I see why she killed 99 people. I mean, it's simultaneously, like, she is extremely skilled, and, like, Soul is, like, legitimately very strong and very cool. They are in this insane flux area of, like, simultaneously. Like, I fully buy that they were able to kill 99 humans, and also it feels insane that they killed 99 humans. Okay, this is where the plan forms. Wait, hold on. So you're telling me, so his daughter and Soul go to fight a witch. They fail. He then goes, he goes to the cabaret club. He runs out of the cabaret club screaming Maka's name. 3 days pass. He has continued to go to the cabaret club. He has not, as far as we can tell, he hasn't talked to Maka in any way whatsoever. He didn't run off. I guess he just ran off because he felt like, like embarrassed or because he felt guilty. But okay, yeah, that wasn't a, like, I need to talk to her or I feel bad. Like, I feel bad and I want to talk to her about it. It's just a straight out, like, I'm gonna fuck around for a couple days. Also, Shinigami, you think she's a witch? Oh. You know what? I gotta give him credit. He was about to unleash his final form. That is pretty cool. If we go out there, we kill that witch with one swing of a scythe. I mean, one... You took it back! He took back the part where he would use his own weapon. Insane. I mean, again, I guess this does raise the question once more of, like, why does he need another weapon? I don't know if he's saying this just in the sense of, like, like, I've been standing here. I could have done this without you. Like, I'm not just standing here because I was incapable of doing it. But it could also be a literal, I refuse to use you. Like, I'm curious to see then, like, if we're going to see him use Maka's dad at any point in the series. But all right, sometimes you gotta just let your kid potentially die. It's the only way. In both this shot and this shot, there's gotta be a cooler way to do their transformations. Because, yeah, it's not really doing it for me here. They look alright, but, just kind of alright. God, I love the multi-reaction beats leading up to Maka's dad going like, yeah, we did it. Hell yeah, get away from Maka. Insane. Oh, yeah. I do genuinely see how this would, like, I get it. Like, simultaneously, like, I feel like, like, of course he wouldn't really do this, but at the same time, I can see why this would seriously hurt her. Like, her entire motivation, as far as we know, as a human being, is to punish her dad for cheating on her mom. to like, inherently, of course, like, if the concept of Soul being horny pisses her off inherently, the idea of her straight up leaving her, or like, of Soul straight up leaving her, like, that's gotta be truly unbelievably devastating. He was ahead of his time. NTR in chapter 1. Also, I mean, simultaneously, big props for Ohkubo to like do an entire first look at your series that is all about NTR, while also being one that in like emotionally hinges on the concept of like a girl's feelings. That is genuinely crazy for a shonen series. I feel like there are romance series that inherently do not want you to sympathize with the female lead because it's like, listen, that's a bit much. That's a bit much. We don't want to get too heavy on this. I didn't really consider how distinctive that is. What kind of sense does it make for a guy to cheat on his partner? How should I know? A cool guy like me doesn't cheat. Based. I'm not sure how the movement worked here, but I'll take it. It's pretty fucking cool. The pose is super iconic. It's so skater core. I love it. Okay, her soul did come out. Okay. But yeah, legit, it ain't looks or form that matter. It's the soul that's important. You can look like Maka's dad and be a piece of shit. You can look like Soul and be cool. You know, I've never considered that his headband is eating the rest of his headband. That's sick as hell, actually. That's so cool. What the hell is the moon eating? But, of course. Okay, what the fuck was going on here? I never said I was a witch. You humans just came to that conclusion on your own. No, I didn't. The mangaka gaslighted me. The mangaka directly lied. Blair's just a cat with really strong magic powers. But she did turn it on them. Fair enough. Turned out it's fair play. But yeah, I guess she is just like, a Nekomata or something. God, Maka's dad is still trying to shoot a shot. But yeah, does this mean that you failed? Can you not just eat a witch's soul now? Jesus fucking Christ, what is going on with the moon? Who graffitied the moon? Oh, also, actually, this does bring up something that, like, I've wondered, but it didn't actually, like, it hit me, like, how do I put it? I didn't remember this page. I sure as hell did not remember this page. But something that I've always found super interesting about Soul Eater is that the sun and the moon are, like, within the atmosphere. Like, I was gonna bring it up, like, the first time you see, like, a cloud behind the moon in, like, in the manga, which I don't think happened in this chapter. But I suppose it's, it's kind of irrelevant when you can see it's literally being stabbed by buildings due to the forced perspective. Like, I get this is a gag, don't get me wrong. But also, this is happening. Someone scribbled a hole over the moon. It is being stabbed by buildings that are, like, a couple stories off the ground. It's such a strong aesthetic. It's so cool. Like, truly, looking, like, the moon really does feel like the biggest indicator of Soul Eater. Like, more so than all the characters, more so than, like, like the art style even, or, like, the art style of, like, the buildings or the characters or whatnot. Just, like, seeing the moon in the sky immediately lets you know, like, what series it is. It's something I find insanely cool. Like, Ruby's also, of course, naturally very similar. I've never thought about that. But yeah, it does also literally steal the mechanic of, you look at the night sky, you look at the moon, you immediately know what series this is. Okay, so a cat has presumably then, like, 9 souls. Oh my god. So, okay, they did kill Blair. Like, they did literally rip the soul out of Blair. Soul did in fact eat her soul. That is all true. That all really did happen. It's just that she's got more of them. Wilden. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am very, very down for cat supremacy. That is broken as hell. I truly don't know if this is going to come up again, if this will be extremely plot relevant at some point, or if it's just funny. It could really go in any direction. Okay, we didn't like answer the question. Are they just going to spend the entire rest of the series waiting to kill one witch, or like, do they have to start over with the count? Like, what's going on there? Oh, yeah, honestly, insanely good prologue chapter. It's strong. It sets up the characters very, very cleanly. There's like 5 characters. Like, you got our main duo, you got, Shinigami and Death Scythe, and then you've got Blair. And even then, like, you can really boil that down. Like, a pair is always easier to remember than a singular person. Slash, like, depending on how you split it, you could say the main, like, three characters in this chapter are, like, the Soul, Maka, and Blair. You could also say it's, like, one of them is the duo of Maka and Soul, one of them is kind of the duo of Shinigami and Death Scythe off to the side, but they're really just sort of, like, how do I put it? I don't know if we'll, like, change our context on this chapter over time, but it really did feel like they were just around to fuck around. Slash, I suppose, too, like, to look on as Maka and Soul learn a valuable lesson. Because, yeah, to be fair, I don't know if Shinigami knew that Blair was, like, a cat, or did he really think she was a witch? Was he also just trying to fuck with his weapon? Because, yeah, like, I guess that is the context of it. Like, he could have been lying to everyone, and it would have been fine. But yeah, it's a solid chapter. Everyone's really cool. The art is really strong. This is definitely the chapter I said the least about in terms of visuals, but that's just because, I've read this one in particular so many times. It's so iconic. It's so cool. Whereas going into the next one, we're already treading on potentially forgotten ground. Man, Black Star signature is so cool. The C and the K look like, I doubt it's like specific because it's a general look, but the C and the K feel a little bit like the Sacrifice brand from Berserk. I mean, the B also kind of has that feeling. Again, it truly is just the power of straight, jagged lines. Also, it actually is really clear that, like, he had trouble, like, writing the black. Like, that is all, like, very jagged. And then the star is very clean, very, like, practiced. And yet, it's not one where, like, if I were to do it, it would be down, up, down, down, and then this would, like, zoom out. The fact that the extra slash comes in here is interesting. How does he write this? The boy's name is Black Star. He's an assassin who lurks in the shadows and moves through the shadows. It is immediately striking that, like, the vibe of, like, the start of this is not at all like the start of, like, the first prologue. And it's Al Capone. Is there prohibition in this world? Like, how Al Capone is this Al Capone? Is he making money off of alcohol smuggling, or is he just kind of vibing? Is he just a guy who likes alcohol? Man, Tsubaki's eye is so much cuter than Soul's. He is the master of the demon shadow weapon, Tsubaki. However, this boy had a rather large problem. He had a big weakness as an assassin. He was a big show-off. Insanely good direction. Like, also, like, like the darkness shifting to the super, super bright 2 pages. Oh my god. Oh, that hurts my eyes. Hashtag positive. Also, the way that Tsubaki, like, merges out of this looks so much cooler than the way that that Soul looked at the, in the prologue. Though I suppose, there he's, like, shifting way more from, like, all of himself to, like, the blade of the scythe, or, like, the handle of the scythe. Whereas I suppose this is just all of, like, a giant chunk of Tsubaki coming out of just the chain. It's really cool, though. Like, this does create a lot of potential for, like, direction. Like, the way this panel is designed looks so cool. And really just because, like, she could be literally anywhere in the panel. You can justify any sort of, like, proportion, any amount of her coming out, any, like, angle. Like, if you want her to be, like, sideways like this, or if she's, like, straight up, or even, like, upside down. But okay. So they're going after a witch as well. Okay. Oh my god, so Tsubaki has not had a single soul yet. Insane contrast. Man, it is crazy. Like, the Black Star's outfit allows him to simultaneously feel like he's wearing shorts while also wearing long jeans. Like, nuts. Crazy. How do you do this? That's just a straight-on garter belt. Holy fuck. Like, Black Star surprisingly very, like, clean look. Very, like Sora from Kingdom Hearts almost. Whereas, like, Tsubaki, who the fuck dressed you? Surely you didn't choose this outfit, right? Wait, do you have a Shinigami smoke bomb? Okay. Man, that's so cool. Like, I wonder if she made those, or, like, did he give those to her? I assume she could make those, because that would also be a clear, like, presumably he's not, like, playing favorites with anyone. It is just that, she has an ability that would allow her to, like, briefly talk to him. Whereas, like, I suppose, if Maka was really in a crunch, could she, turn Soul into a scythe and then look at the blade of the scythe and just, put in Shinigami-sama's number on there? Also, what does he do all day? Like, don't get me wrong, I do like how chill he is, but, like, we're not interrupting him in the middle of anything. He's just kind of standing there. Like, it's not even a, like, we're gonna put in a call and then he's going to pick up once he's, like, reset. Like, this was just straight out, I'm going to set off a smoke bomb that lets us immediately start talking to him. That is trust. It's also only, like, hitting me right now. Like, chapter 1, we focus so hard on the idea of, like, death needing a scythe. Or, like, needing a death scythe. But here, like, we are just outright saying, like, yeah, presumably, if Blackstar does this correctly, Tsubaki will become Death's weapon. At which point, he's just going to be using Tsubaki, so I guess he doesn't need it to be a scythe. I mean, I guess she can turn herself into, like, what's that called again? Like a Kama? Like, like a tiny little, like, scythe blade thing. But, I mean, spoiler alert, I know about Kid. And Kid uses straight out guns. That's nothing like that's not a scythe. It's like, what the hell are we doing here? Because, again, we'll collect souls, even if it takes our entire lives. So it's not even that, like, how do I put it? The way Blackstar is, like, is talking about it, it could just be a boast. It could just be a, like, yeah, we're just, the hunting bad people. We're helping the do-gooders and fighting the evildoers. And then, like, as a contrast, like, oh, and, we'll do the thing. Whereas, like, Tsubaki is saying this as if it's, like, an obligation, which it might be. But that then raises the question once more of, like, why is Shinigami-sama so fucking pressed to have another blade? Also, why doesn't he do this? Like, if he desperately needs one, why not just go out and use his death scythe and kill 99 like people, and then kill one witch, and then make another one? This seems like a system that doesn't need to exist. The rules state that you become Death's weapon by absorbing the souls of 99 humans and one witch. However, there's a special way you can do that without collecting the souls of 99 humans. So you just get a big old fucking egg and sperm. But yeah, like, if I'm thinking that, Prologue 1 was him just, like, outright going, there's no way you're gonna do this, but it's, it's a learning process. This also feels like a real learning process. This is a real, like, yeah, if you can't fight normal-ass people, there's no way you can beat this one guy, but it'll be pretty cool. Oh, the bodyguard Mifune. He is an incredible swordsman who serves as the bodyguard for the witch named Angela. Okay, based. Oh, I forgot. Who is Mifune again, like, in real life? I don't remember if he's, like, a Kurosawa character, or, like, an Akira Kurosawa, like, a movie character, or if he's, like, an actor from one of, that played one of his characters. That's definitely what we're going for. And okay, he was going to say, like, yeah, there's something about the witch Angela, like, he was going to prepare them. Jesus fucking Christ, that's the son. Oh, man. I don't know why. In my head, I imagined it to be a little, like, softer looking. Oh, boy, that is a, like, oh, that's like a radish nose. But okay. So the plan is just straight out. I mean, okay, the plan is just, we're going to kidnap this witch and then use, like, her power to become the strongest. Also, these, like, this isn't the way they're drawn. They are, like, wearing masks. What the fuck? Are these just guys? Oh, but okay, sick. And they did roll up with guns. Like, they've got guns. Meanwhile, thank you for taking the bullet for us, Blackstar. He's definitely screaming this out loud, but also, to be fair, she's also saying this out loud as well. I suppose if you hang out with Blackstar long enough, like, he's gonna rub off on you. I know this changes later, but right now, man, Ohkubo cannot do fan service. That's not necessarily a negative, though. Based. Did she spring for the Blackstar branded towels, or did he just give that to her? Oh my god. Oh. Were these, like, cuts down to do this, or are they growing like this? I mean, actually, yeah. Based on the way, like, they're sprouting like this, I assume this whole place is alive. Oh my god. Oh my god. I do love the contrast in that, like, like, with Maka and Soul, like, up until the end, like, clearly they had true disharmony there. Like, they really, genuinely do not, like, like, they can get along, but that's not their natural state of being. They do rub up against each other quite harshly. Whereas, like, with, like, Blackstar and Tsubaki, I do appreciate that, like, ultimately there is a trust, like, there at the very, very core. Like, it's a real opposites attract. Whereas I suppose that's the thing with, like, Maka and Soul. I don't know if their opposites attract. I don't think they're opposite enough to be opposites attract. They're just opposite enough for it to, to get in the way sometimes. Like, it's arguably worse than if they were, like, just fundamentally diametrically opposed. Oh, so sick. Oh, wait, was this tape here before? He was on the steps, so then... was it these steps? Unclear. I think he may have been further out. Not that it necessarily matters. Actually, yeah. He must have been, like, way further out. Because, yeah, like, these are the keep out, like, that's the keep out tape. Like, stringed, like, alongside here. Because, yeah, it's the same stuff that's, like, on the door. Or, like, in front of the door, actually. But okay, presuming that he's not just fucking around like Blair, how the hell are they surviving this one? God damn, he got Capone. Oh, okay, see, that shift looks so insanely cool. God damn. I suppose it helps that you can also, like, shift into multiple things, but, like, like, the last time we saw her, like, kind of pop out of these chains, it was still, like, this. Like, it fundamentally is a weapon that is a similar shape to Soul. Is she just better? Is it a skill issue? That's also very possible. Like, like how do I put it? Maybe it's not a, like, out-of-universe thing. Maybe it is an in-universe, like, but she is more flexible, and that then refers to, like, like, the ways in which she can, like, shift in and out of various forms. Like, Cassie from Animorphs. Oh, Versus is so cool. God damn. Hopefully this will not go on for 5 days. If you want to kill me, you'll have to melt down a big statue of Buddha and make a huge sword first. Oh, fuck, what is that reference? That's a reference to the big fat guy that melted down all the swords and turned them into a statue of Buddha, right? Sick. I mean, honestly, chains in general are just such a cool, like, such a cool, like, comic weapon / manga weapon. I don't know if I've read that many manga series that use chains, but, like, it's so fucking sick. Look at this aesthetic. I mean, yeah, Tsubaki is strong as fuck. I'm actually curious how the durability works. Like, how do I put it? Because she's, like, like, stretched out like a chain, does that lower her durability? Or, like, is it just a, like, whatever form she is, each part is, like, equally strong? Like, is it more of a, like, spiritual energy situation? Because either way, it seems like she's insanely strong. Also, this whole, like, like, 1,000 sword-esque style of, just, like, having a bunch of weapons and being able to, like, run around and grab ones as needed. It's so insanely sick. As much as I like the scythe as a weapon, I do think, like, I wasn't super insanely thrilled by, by the choreography in the first prologue. Whereas, like, this fight is genuinely so unbelievably cool. Whew. The absolute insane troll logic of going from killing a kid makes you lose sleep to, what was that, you bastard? I'm a kid? You're saying I'm small? Because that's the opposite of what I am. I'm a big shot. Oh my god. Oh. Okay, that's a sick-ass shuriken. Is he holding her by the mouth? Oh. God damn, so cool. So cool. Oh, and okay, he didn't even use Tsubaki here. Like, he just grabbed a sword. Oh, the consequences of screaming as an assassin. Oh boy, that doesn't look good. That really doesn't look good. Oh my god, he fucking Kenshined him. I mean, yeah, fair enough. The only reason you've been able to fight this long is because of how good that weapon is. But no matter how great the weapon is, it doesn't mean anything if the user doesn't have any talent. You're the small fry here, am I right? Based. I'm starting to consider that, like, maybe the sun and the moon aren't eating anything, and they're just, like, they just have, like, anime disease. Oh. God damn. Truly, Blackstar has the worst brain maybe in history. You're calling me the small fry so you can hog the spotlight, right? I will never let that happen. I'm the star. Got it. Sky above, sky below, I alone stand almighty. Of course, he thinks he's the honored one. All right, he's going in. It's serious mode. Okay, I mean, will he actually do it for real this time? Or is he going to just scream and just stab him? The way of assassination. The way of assassination, rule 1. Blend into the shadows, control your breathing, and wait for your target to let down his guard. The way of assassination, rule 2. Tune into your target, predict his thoughts and action. Like, yeah, he did shift. He did actually lock in. The way of assassination, rule 3. Okay, I can feel a faint presence, but it's obviously the presence of someone completely different. Oh, You know what? Sick. Of course he didn't lock in. The way of assassination, rule 3. Strike your target before he notices you. Based. I mean, honestly, very Shinigami core of just deciding I'm not going to use my weapon. Or rather, I will use my weapon, but in a very atypical way. I guess that is the difference. Like, Tsubaki was serving as a weapon in this fight. It was just in a way that you would not expect, especially given how straightforward Black Star is. Oh, there's no star here. Well, I guess this is the name of the attack. That's not necessarily his name, so fair enough. God damn, got him. All right. But, of course. Ah. Wait a minute, is this your... Hold on. Did she make this place? I thought they just like found this place, but that's definitely like her magic. God damn. Oh, that's pretty dank actually. Because yeah, there was like a 1% chance that she just found this hat, but like the spiral, or like not spiral, I guess it is just like concentric circles. Like that's clearly her, like, you know, like witch design. In addition, of course, to the chameleon. Okay. Oh, our fingerprints are also concentric circles. That's cool as hell. Damn. I suppose on the list of what's the deal with people, are they just guys? What's going on there? What are weapons? What's going on there? What is Shinigami? What's going on there? I guess I do naturally have to also ask the question: what the fuck is going on with witches? What are they? What's a witch? How did this happen? Like, are you like a part of a clan? If you are, like, you know, like, did someone hire you? Is Mifune, like, you know, like, related to you? Is he just also a guy? Oh my god, she did slash him in the head. Oh, god damn, he's so cool. Oh, come on. Black Star, you're a cool guy. You can't do this. Well, you figured out a way to get over it. All right, I'll take it. Sure, Mifune's not as cool as you. Sure. Sun's looking real hungry here. Jesus fucking Christ. Is this a bathhouse? Oh boy, there's a lot going on here. What is with the noses? I get the panda aesthetic. What is going on with these noses? Did the sun make them? So many questions. Yeah, honestly, such a good, like, prologue. Like, it's interesting that both, like, Soul and Black Star are, like, your classic irritating protagonists. And yet, I do think, like, I think it might just be that I like the dynamic a bit better. But yeah, like, Black Star is this combination of, like, genuinely really cool and also the worst at the same time. You can't have one without the other. And that's what makes him so awesome. It helps that he does, again, like, he also has the skills to pay the bills. It is also, let's just jump to the start real quick. It is interesting that the prologues are also named after the guys. Like, it's not the names of the Meisters, because, Prologue 1 is Soul Eater. Whereas, 2 and 3, that would fit that. I guess it might also just be because Soul is, like, the title character. But I guess it also raises the question of, like, he's the title character? Like, Maka is definitely narratively the main character. I mean, also, maybe not. Who can say? But yeah, interesting. Did not really consider that. So, of course, Prologue 3, Death the Kid. I mean, we're about to see some good shots of them, but man, the three of them are such a cool trio, such a cool combination. I'll say right at the start, by the way, I am fully aware that the Thompson sisters are not dogs, and yet for some reason in my head, I constantly think they're dog girls. So I'm going to try and just, kind of unwire that out of my brain before we're done this recap. Death the Kid, the son of Shinigami-sama, a perfect young man. God, the aesthetic is so insanely good on this page. Because also, color page. Did we do a color page for anyone else? Yeah, we definitely didn't. That's actually crazy. Damn. See, I wonder if this was, like, serialized in terms of, like, doing one right after another. Like, in that case, I could actually kind of see it. Like, this is a really weird example, but, like, Saiki Kuso no Sainon has, like, an entire volume that's just, like, one-shots. like that are all sequential. They are all part of a story, but it is truly just a like like the mangaka just kept on introducing one shots that kept on being the same series, and eventually they gave up and they were like, "Hey, do you want a serialization? It feels like you want a serialization." Oh, yeah, like both. This page is really, really strong. I love the like the marker feeling on like like how do I put it? Marker, I think, is just really, really good at getting across the feeling of the folds and cloth. Like, even without having to do hard lines to break it up, it just, it looks so good. Also, I don't think I've ever noticed that, like, the stitches on Kid are the same stitches that are on their pants. But yeah, like, we did 2 one-shots in, you get the vibe, you get the drip, and then this is really just hitting you over your head with, like, giga drip. You've got the moon, which immediately tells you where you are. You got the sky, you got the buildings, they look so goddamn good. Why do in like the area surrounding DWMA, why do people build like this? I mean, I wonder if it's just like that everywhere. We'll see. Yeah, of course, also the upside down guns. For what purpose? I genuinely don't know. Yeah, this is also built so much like the Black Star chapter where, you start off, like with incredible hype and then you subvert it. Whereas like, like Maka's chapter really is not like that. Like it kind of is, but like much like Maka and Soul Eater, like it's in a like less like insane way compared to everyone else. It feels crazy to say because it's still an insane chapter, but like of the trios, Maka and Soul Eater are like the least wacky and crazy in a sense. And okay, so the figure we're killing is Lupin. For what purpose? I mean, maybe in this world, this is the crimes are bad. The guns are turning into people. So you don't know about weapons. That's also actually important information. Like, presumably, he is the Phantom Thief. Presumably, he's done this a couple of times. He's never run into anyone who could do this. Which I suppose does, imply then that, like, the Meisters and their weapons aren't like, a police force in a sense. Like, it's not that, if you're committing crimes, you would expect to see some of them. Like, presumably, the world more or less, like, kind of turns on its own without them. Phantom Thief, Lupin, we're going to take your soul. Oh, it's so synchronized. God damn. Oh, she really was a little off her mark. Oh, damn. Did he just sense that? Well, I suppose, like, it doesn't even need to be, like, a supernatural sense. Like, like, she had to spread her legs for the pose. So presumably he could just, like, feel where her feet landed. I mean, also, to be fair, like, of the times that, our groups have done this, this is the least crazy one because Lupin isn't trying to murder them. Like, he's trying to skedaddle. That is inherently, like, a problem. They're trying to kill him. But, like, it's a little more appropriate to stop and take your time. Also, so he put air quotes over perfectly. What does he mean by that? I mean, it depends. Like, of course, in English, the connotation is usually, like, this is a, like, slightly sarcastic indicator. Like, but... Like, there is this overlap in both Japanese and English where some people will use, like, quotation marks as emphasis. They tell you not to do it, but the secret to English is, if enough people do it, that does become a rule in at least some sort of dialect. But also, there's also the added thing of, like, is he saying this in English? Because if he's saying perfectly in English and the rest in Japanese, that would add that extra layer of, like, this is why I'm using, like, this is why I'm using quotation. I'm clearly quoting someone or something else, even if it's just a language in general. I carry one gun in each hand, it's symmetrical, see? But on the other hand, when you're in human form, your hair and body types are different. Oh no. Even the size of your breasts is different. I mean, I'm curious to see, like, how we talk about that. Because, I mean, clearly he does care about their individuality. Like, also, Patty is wearing shorts. Like, if he was really that upset about it, he could make them look slightly more symmetrical. I mean, also the hair. Can't really do anything about the body types, but still. Oh, I feel like the immediate first response to, why don't you just, like, dye the stripes on the other side? Like, that's the kind of thing that sounds like it makes sense, but I've learned from cosplayers that it is unbelievably difficult, even within, like, a day or two, to do something like this on hair from, like, like, other characters that have, like, dots on their hair and stuff. Like, the moment one hair gets out of place, he would lose his goddamn mind. So I guess that does imply that, like, his natural streaks never get out of hand. Either that or, he's, like, gelling them like crazy to make sure they're lined up properly. God, they turned the tables so hard. You're not a kid. You're not a pig, Kid-kun. Pigs say meow, so keep your chin up. This is some bad advice. What is happening? Okay, pigs say meow, garbage goes oink. Oh, sick. And yeah, I assume this is like, a specific him-only technique. I mean, I guess you could say Tsubaki's thing is also a very specific her technique. I don't know if there's a difference, actually. Like, maybe everyone does have a separate way to talk to him. I really thought the mirror thing was going to be, like, way more universal. But yeah, I guess we'll have to see. Because, like, my immediate impulse is that Maka's way of doing it is, like, the correct way, and the other two are exceptions. But that's only because we saw, the mirror thing first. It's possible they all do it differently. Immediately with the streak talk. Shinigami-sama actually is really distinct in that, like, his design is 3-based. Like, you got the 3 tails, you got the 3 holes, but, like, he is still symmetrical. But yeah, I guess these, his 3 teeth? Whatever is going on here, I guess that is analogous to, like, the 3 stripes on Kid. Because, like, they also do stop. But if they connected all the way on the other side, that'd still be 3. So, who can say? And okay. Wait a minute. Okay. So, Kid is also collecting souls to make a, like, a death scythe for himself because he is also, a Shinigami. This does immediately ask and answer a question at the same time. My immediate thought was, oh, maybe that's why he's so pressed to make another death scythe. But Kid is making both of his guns into death scythes. Like, he's doing it himself. So that brings it all the way back around to, like, well, in that case, everyone else making, like, death's weapons are definitely doing it for Shinigami-sama. I mean, unless the move is, like, to have to tell Kid at some point, listen, whatever situation is coming up is too dangerous. You gotta let go of your guns for a bit and use this weapon that I've made. You gotta use Maka's dad. Oh, Maka's dad in one hand, soul in the other hand. I can see it. I can see the vision. But yeah, I do like the balance of, like, Maka and Soul can kill normal-ass people extremely, extremely well. But, like, the witch problem is going to leave them hard-pressed. You've got, of course, Black Star and Tsubaki, who can't kill shits. They're really strong, but they can't kill shits. And then Kid, who presumably is, like, competent, but also, like, he's got a much higher goal to hit. Oh, the way the sunbeams are like chains almost is really cool. Though I suppose that might just be like, the aesthetic of the sunbeams. Because to be fair, Ohkubo is not, like, he's not, like, scared of being bold. If these were supposed to look like chains, they would look way more like chains. But okay, Mummy's coming out of the pyramid. Yeah, so presumably you can get a ton of souls. Also, there's a witch. You could turn one of them into a death scythe pretty early. Oh, I didn't even consider it. That's also gonna be a big problem. Like, the concept of, like, I assume he would want to kill 99 with Patty, 99 with Liz, and then kill 2 witches at the same time. Otherwise, like, they would be unbalanced, and then he would freak out. Kid, why are you so lewd in this panel? God, this boy loves symmetry. Oh, Kitty, why is the sun so hungry all the time? Oh, God, such a sick concept. I love this fucking skateboard. I just saw a video where someone was like, hey, the Yeezy slides suck because he, of course, lives in the desert. And so he walked like 5 miles in the desert. And then was like, look, these Yeezy slides suck because, they attach themselves to you through friction. And when you're walking around in the desert, the sand gets into the slides and, the friction pushes the sand up against your feet and, like, it cuts you up and it's bad. And it's like, well, why the fuck are you wearing these in the desert? What happened? What is the situation? I feel like Kid is the kind of person who either runs into that problem all the time, like, just based on how preppy he is, combined with the fact that, like, he came through the desert without, like, an umbrella, without, like, a parka or anything. He just fucking came, like, midday as well. Or, alternatively, this is never a problem. It goes either way, truly. I don't, like, he's the kind of guy who's so pressed all the time that I don't know what actually freaks him out. Like, if everything does, then, it's hard to really ramp it up any more than his normal level of, this is the worst thing I've seen in my entire life. I think I like Liz more, but I'm also, like, I'm pretty appreciative of Patty. The Patty stocks are going up. The concept of people's eyes were crushed when they blinked is actually really good. Oh no. Kid, don't. But of course. Oh my god, these are the mummies! Jesus Christ! How do you achieve this build? What the fuck was going on in Egypt? Well, I guess these are being resurrected by a witch, so I guess it's, whatever her aesthetic is, actually. Don't poo-poo-poo at them! Oh, god damn! Oh, the blood shooting out of the eyes is actually really goddamn freaky. Like the other two chapters, despite being very Halloween-y, of course, they don't have a lot of, like, horror to them, whereas, like, this is genuinely really spooky. Like, even going into the pyramid didn't feel that spooky because, we're just kind of going in. This is the first time where it's felt like, oh, they're in peril. Oh no, he left! He went home! Oh, that's so sick, though. Like, truly, it is really cool they can use each other. Like, as we go further in, I'm curious to see, like, how effective is this? Because on one hand, like, they're sisters, so they seem like they should be pretty damn compatible. Like, they're going to be way more compatible than, like Maka and Soul. But also, they're both weapons, and I assume that puts, like, a limit on it, right? In addition to all the other questions, I guess I already had what is a weapon, what is Meister down, but I'll reiterate, like, what is the delineation between them as well, I guess? Can you be a weapon and a Meister? So extremely cool. Like, it is also such a clean choice to have, like, this whole fight sequence be very cramped, very claustrophobic. Like, both in terms of, like, the pyramid itself is very, dark and cramped and claustrophobic, but also in the sense, like, we're not really showing off the gunplay that much. It is, like, shot, reverse shot. It is, where the attack is coming from, how the attacks are landing. God damn. Okay, that is an insane, the force of that is ridiculous. Oh my god, I did not realize how strong these bullets were. I mean, to be fair, they are empty. Like, they are literally empty. They are bandages, and the soul is just kind of hanging out in there. Well, I suppose, I guess we don't know how souls work. What are souls? Like, in the sense of, when you kill someone, the soul comes out, but, like, is the soul just hanging out in them? Like, in the same way that, like in Mortal Kombat, you can, like, pull your hand into someone and rip out their hearts. Like, can you literally do that? Is the soul, like, a physical organ inside a person that you can, like, grab and pull out? Or is it, like, like a spiritual organ where, upon death, it manifests? Because that could go either way here. Like, this could have just been hanging out inside the mummy, or, could be due to the kill shot, it then manifested, and just the mummy is so fucking big that it's still inside of it here, instead of, like, already being outside. My heart inside of me, my heart inside my image. Oh, great Pharaoh, live once again. This is the first spell we've seen that isn't just, like, repeating a theme, I guess is the way to put it. I guess it is still heart-themed, but it's not like hearts, which is what I was kind of expecting here. God damn. Instantly owned. Instantaneously owned. Oh my god. Huh, also, I don't... Yeah, Samantha feels like such a specific choice, but that doesn't actually bring anything to mind for you. Whereas, of course, in between last reaction and this reaction, it occurred to me, Death the Kid, Billy the Kid. That makes a lot of sense, actually. And then the Thompson sisters, I don't know if Patty and Liz specifically would be a reference to anything, nor their designs, but, like, the Thompson after the guns, which are not pistols, but there's always room to grow. Meanwhile, this shit is lined up. I suppose, like, this story also plays a lot with the concept of, traveling time. Like, we literally do not know when he decides to skedaddle. We don't know how long it's going to take for him to go home. Like, of course, it's going to be a round trip, which is pretty big. And, the start of, them going to Egypt feels inherently like, oh man, this might have taken forever. But also, he does kind of rock up. Like, the twins are pressed because they're like, well, we were in gun form for so long. So it was, it did take some time. It's not like they, like, instant transmissioned over there. but like it can't be that long. Oh, is that a cigarette lighter, or is that like, the base of their gun forms? I assume it's the base, because like yeah, they eat the souls, hence Soul Eater. Okay, I guess they gotta just 1v1 this mummy, or 2v1, I guess. Is it a 1v1 or a 2v1 if one of you is turning into a gun? I guess it's still a 2v1, right? Man, I gotta admit, the patty stocks are going up. I'm left over. Okay, Wrath of the Pharaoh time. What? 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 Why? Was this ball related to anything? Okay, what the fuck? Oh, what the fuck? I can already tell that Ohkubo is actually getting better at fan service. Damn. That is monumental within like 3 chapters. Crazy. Okay. It is actually crazy work to tie them up, thus like opening up the possibility of doing a chunk of the arc where a kid does not have his weapons, only to immediately go, nah, we're not doing that. Truly a skill issue. Like, of course, we also really get to see like their compatibility and incompatibility. Like, a kid being the most mercurial person on the planet, the most up and down, the most like all over the fucking place. And yet they do, they're not freaking out. They're they can Sukomi him, but they've got to repair him afterwards because he will take the Sukomi too hard. He doesn't have Black Star's endless levels of being able to take any punishment. It's a really, really it's not a very easy dynamic to describe in words, but it's a very obvious one. Just looking at it, it does click very cleanly. All right, let's fucking go. Oh my god! Oh no! Got fucking Gamu no pistols. Jesus Christ, kid. Oh no, the stocks are going down. Oh my god. Oh my god. What are you doing? This isn't like you. Take a good look at him. He's perfectly symmetrical. You gotta respect it, right? He would die. You can't achieve that dream. Dead in the prologue. I just can't shoot him. Okay, listen, Pharaoh. The hammer is a bit much. I mean, I suppose, how do I put it? I guess it's not inherently more ancient Egyptian to stab someone with your wrappings as opposed to turning your wrappings to a big hammer and hammering them. But something about it feels wrong. Okay, all right, Jesus Christ. This is what you look like? What the fuck happened? Are you, once more, the question, are you just a guy? I mean, of course, he's a pharaoh, so I assume he's, descended from the gods. But that raises further questions. I mean, I guess Death the Kid is also, what is a Shinigami again? Because if we're saying, a Shinigami is a god of death, then I suppose Death the Kid is also literally descended from the gods, like a pharaoh. Right, left, not symmetrical. Let's fucking go. Truly, why is he so mixed? Oh my god. Hold on. Oh wait, is this your face? Yeah, oh yeah, because it's got the little tut beard. That's your face? I was zooming in on this because I was like, oh man, this is a great little derpy face. You're telling me this is, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is happening with you? Are you a plant? How do you achieve this form? Oh my god. Fucking get him, kid. This is insane. What are you? The epitome of everything that isn't needed? It's all in the way. God. Holy shit. They are, the cartridges are spilling out. I get why they're the Thompson twins now. Holy fuck. All right. God damn. Oh, he let the one symmetrical decoration live. Huh. It is interesting as well that, he is saying directly, let's go to the next place. We need to even out the number of souls through getting more souls. Instead of just saying, hey, Liz, why don't you, vomit up a soul? How do I put it? I understand the moral reason why you wouldn't do that, but I don't think Kid gives a fuck about that. Oh, well, time to say goodbye to beautiful Anubis. God. Truly a god tier trio. Even this ending page is fantastic. Okay, so he lost these souls for as punishments. Still raises the question of, do Maka and Soul still have 99 souls? Man, it's gotta be extremely, for anyone else, I feel like it'd be very hard to parent Kid. For Shinigami, I assume it's very easy. It really comes down to, like, how do I put it? Like, you can punish him with basically anything. Like, it just hit me how light it is to be like, oh yeah, you destroyed an ancient Egyptian pyramid. It has ceased to exist. Therefore, I will take away the souls that you got while collecting it. Like, while destroying that pyramid. Knowing that will fuck him up so much. Oh my god. But yeah, I feel like I said the least about, like, this prologue, but I think it's because it's also, like, extremely straightforward, and also, like, like, as we're going through it, I feel like, the amount of base questions about existence, like, lesson. What the fuck are you? What was this? What was this? But yeah, like, of our three groupings right now, I do think, like the kid and the sisters are definitely, like, number one on my interest list. Maka and Soul are, like, number two. And then Blackstar and Tsubaki are third, which feels really mean because I like Tsubaki a lot. I do like Blackstar. Like, don't get me wrong, I do think he is a really, like, fun protagonist. But I think, like, of the, like, of the boys, he's definitely the one I align with the least, and therefore, like, I feel like the entire pairing then, like, falls down a bit. Whereas, like, conversely, like, Tsubaki is pretty damn good. Like, she might be the one I align with the most, but then again, there's also, like Maka is really good. I mean, she's, not really. I feel like I'm just saying that because she's the main character. But yeah, in a big ensemble like this, we also have such an insane spread of characters. Like, I guess we'll talk about that as we go into chapter 1, but there's, there's the old, like, saying of, like, if you don't like the main character in a series, then you shouldn't read the series. And I feel like Soul Eater really manages to cheat that concept by really having, like, 7 potential characters that you can look at and be like, well, if you vote this person number 1, no one can argue with it. But okay, proper chapter 1, getting color pages for it as well. Ooh, the wall's got some death, crime, suffering, like, oh yeah, it's like defaced. Quick jump back to the prologue. Okay, it was die, pig, and kill on the moon. So yeah, like, definitely more violent. The pig actually kind of stands out after the Death the Kid chapter. But nah, he wouldn't do this. He's not a spray painty kind of guy. And if he was, it would have been, like, like, it would have been symmetrical. But I guess the moon itself is inherently not symmetrical. Crazy thing to say about the moon. Okay, Maka's going after Rasputin. God damn. Oh my god, is that your beard? I actually don't know if this is his beard or not. Like, how do I put it? It's extending out of where his beard is, but, like, the shading on it also shifts, like, when it goes from being the more, like, hair-like part to this. So he could have just, like, plugged it in. That could be, like, a literal cross. Also, why are we censoring Maka's eyes? What is happening here? Okay. Man, this page looks so unbelievably good. I mean, number one, I'm just a sucker for any page where, like, a character is the vast majority of it. Like, not the whole thing, but just, like, a vast majority of it. It makes them feel gigantic. Whereas, like, conversely, if a character takes up the entire page, sometimes that's just, it evens out and you're like, well, maybe I'm just standing very close to them. Whereas the perspective here makes it very clear. No, Rasputin's gigantic. Number 2. Yeah, like, the marker line work is so strong. It's got that real Soul Eatery, like, use of hard lines in a way that, it does, like, it does feel a bit mathematical, but not quite. It still has curvature to it. Also, it really highlights, like, the boldness of Maka's design. She's got that real, this is a wild pull, but, like, a Son Goku vibe. It's a real, like, like, in the same way that, like, early Goku, like, not DBZ Goku, but, like, original Dragon Ball Goku is so standout because he's so goddamn tiny, and therefore, like, if he's fighting anyone, as long as they're not also minuscule, he gets to be, the small one versus the big one. Like, Maka's not that short of a person, she's a bit short, but, like, not insanely so. But fighting someone this gigantic really, really, really makes her look tiny as fuck. Also, crazy work not going for the neck, like, going for the shoulder, like, slicing right through the rib cage. I guess arguably, you get someone who, like, presumably has, like, legends about not being able to die. You shouldn't go for the decapitation. Like, Of course, naturally, as a human being in our world, my thought immediately goes to, oh yeah, decapitation never fails. But based on my entire channel, I feel like there's 10 guys on my channel that have all been decapitated and have been totally fine. I've seen much more recoveries from decapitation than I've seen from slicing through the entire body. Like, it's the same reason why, like, if you're trying to shoot someone, they always say, like, don't aim for the head. In video games, will tell you to go for a headshot. Never do that. Go for a body shot. I've never heard that about a blade, but I guess that does make sense, right? All right, so going in for the big chomp. Oh, man, look at that angle on his mouth. Insane. Look at this nose. He really opened up. Oh, so predatory. God damn. Maka, are you paying for the repairs to the school? Yeah, the academy looks so fucking sick. Like the background with the marker strokes on it looks so distinctive, so good. It really, 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 like, how do I put it? It creates a texture that in traditional digital, not using like a brush to try and imitate this kind of style. I feel like the move would be, let's keep it black. Let's keep it, like one color, or let's do a gradient or something. This feels so good. It looks so good. God damn. Yeah, the moon looks great. The fires look fantastic. The little glow from the fire reflecting off of the candles. Big titty spikes coming out of the school. God, it looks so good. And yeah, the vibe feels so entirely different from from the initial prologue. Like, the initial prologue, and I guess the prologues in general, have already sold you on the general, the characters and the vibe of the series. So this gets to be a lot, looser. It's still, a solid, in media res intro, but there's something about it feels less frenetic. Okay, it's morning. The days are cool, so of course the mornings are cool, too. Oh, is the sun yelling morning? Might be the first time that the sun or the moon has been nice or happy. I mean, I guess when we first see Egypt, before Kid shows up, the sun's also pretty, chill. Oh, he's got the posters up. Now, of course, the Apex Twin, how do I put it? Of course, my immediate thought is the bands that exist in our world. But at the same time, we just saw what Rasputin looks like. We know what, what Jack the Ripper looks like. I feel like Apex Twin in this world are going to look fucking crazy. Man, the ultimate power of a cat witch to just be like, I'm living in your house now. We know she doesn't need to do this. She made a house before. I mean, presumably, where else would she find a pumpkin? There's no way she was paying for that. Oh my god. I cannot believe she's scratching the wall. Incredible, powerful 10 out of 10. Holy shit. Unbelievable angles as well. God damn. Wait, do Sol and Maka live together? Or is this a classic, go into my friend's house in order to wake him up? This kind of morning, this kind of love comedy isn't cool at all. What are these balls? I mean, just looking at them makes me immediately go, are these Shinigami-sama's, face things? Eyes is what I want to say immediately, but he does have this one as well. Is that a third eye, or is that it's placed in the position where a nose would be? Yeah, is it? Oh man, seeing them curved like this, seeing the tails, the teeth. Now I've got an added thing of they look a lot like tentacles when they're curved, which makes a lot of sense. That feels very like what I imagine Soul Eater would do for a Cthulhu-esque character. All right. Class Crescent Moon, or even seeing some of the class, god damn. The fact that they are in school and also doing missions, this immediately scratches an itch that I have not felt scratched in a long time. That is, of course, one of the big, concerns with My Hero Academia, which of course started way after Soul Eater. But I think that's why it's so striking, because there's so many series that do have a good balance of this is a series that takes place in school, but there are also fights, and that all is balanced quite nicely. It was both very striking, very standout and interesting, but also very weird to have a series that was explicitly listen, if we're gonna do the fight stuff, it's it's not going to be that it might be related to the school stuff, but very loosely. fundamentally, if you're going to school, you're supposed to be going to school. I appreciated a series that is willing to say, like, no, you can go to school and also just, like, commit murder. It's fine. In fact, you need to do it. I guess it also raises the question of, like, if one of these students made Death's weapon, like, if Maka managed to, like, in chapter 1, if she actually turned Soul into a death scythe, does he just graduate? Like, I assume there's nothing more you could do than be the weapon of Shinigami-sama. So therefore, I feel like that'd be like an auto pass, right? Or do you continue to come back to school? Are they still a pair if that happens? The great traditional technique of Maka, the Maka chop. God damn. The way she did it as well, like, there was no, like, panel of the book being raised or anything. She really, like, it feels like it was like a 1-inch Maka chop. Devastating. Oh, the homeroom teacher we had before. What was his name again? Anyway, he got killed, right? I heard the goddess of freedom stabbed him right between the eyes. You mean Sensei? Yeah, that was the goddess right between the eyes incident. What the fuck are you talking about? But right. Okay, right. Okay. Nightmare scenario. Jesus fucking Christ. Leave. But yeah, this is a really good way of, like, freshly re-introing, like, like, the dynamic between, like Soul and Maka. And Death Scythe, of course. But yeah, it is also a re-intro. Like, that is interesting as well. It is specifically saying you should have read the fucking prologues, which, I mean, of course you should have, but that adds a little more context to the question of, like, how were those released? What was going on there? Okay, so, like, you open up the death room first, and then you've got, like, the torii gates that are also, what are those called again? Why do I remember torii gates, but not, guillotines? Oh, so sick. Wait, were you guys just hanging out in the death room? I mean, truly, this gag fundamentally being about the fact that, like, when characters say shit out loud, you're not supposed to think that anyone else can hear them. It's so strong. Despite having just read this gag before, I couldn't help it. I looked at it once more and I was like, oh yeah, maybe he's finally being quiet this time. Maybe. Okay, they were also called. Fair. And okay, so if you're going to... Well, I guess this isn't his room. Or maybe it is? Are they outside? What is fucking happening here? But okay, like, either way, like, the official way to call him here is with the mirror. So presumably that's, like, how you're supposed to do it. I don't think it fully impressed on me in Prologue 2 that, like, Tsubaki is a shadow weapon. She's not she's not like a ninja weapon or a, like, general weapon or whatnot. She is specifically a shadow weapon. Hi. Since I started reading Soul Eater again, I have felt the, like, the high uptick of high highs in my daily life. It's so strong. But okay, taking the remedial class. Okay. So this does answer the question of, like, how many souls have Maka and Soul, like, collected at this point? 0. So eating one cat soul did negate the rest. This is some dirty ass pool. This feels like Shinigami-sama just took them. There's no way, right? Like, that's 99 souls. I was just talking about the potential, like, moral implications of, like, throwing away one soul for the sake of, like, evening out the number of souls you have. But it feels like, if you can spoil, like, 99, like, human souls by just fucking up the last soul, like, does that also mean if you collect 100 human souls, it's like a counting error and you have to go back around? Wild. All right, it's time to kill Sid. God damn, he was so hot when he was alive. God damn. Oh, headband. Hole. He was destined to die like this. It is actually very striking that Shinigami's explanation is that idea of, like, oh, well, like, Sid has been freed of the fear of death. Like, that is an aesthetic I really do like. Like, just, how do I put it? I wouldn't say my life is motivated that much by the fear of death in, like, a general sense. But I do think there is something to the concept. Like, I suppose I would phrase it more as, like, death is the great, like, it is the great force that evens things out. And therefore, like, not having death, I think also, like, I would say it's less, like, like, useful because it creates fear and more because it creates hope. Like, like, the worst people in the world will eventually die. Whereas, like, I do think that, like, that also creates the reverse thing of, like, surely the worst people in the world have some fear of death, which might cause them to do some crazy shit, of course, but it might also cause them to hopefully consider the fact that their time is short and they should really do something else. Man, it is crazy that chapter 1, we are already going to be introducing a peak. What? What is going on with Hook Cemetery? Why do we do it like this? Like, it's better than, like, Lynch Cemetery. And yet, there's something more ominous about it being Hooks. Why Hooks? Why did we start doing this? Oh, okay, also, Sid's got one name, just Sid. Yeah, we've only said Maka's first name. Kid is Death the Kid. Like, presumably that is, like, like, essentially Death Jr. Like, presumably his, like, even if everyone calls him Kid, presumably his legal name is just Death. And then Blackstar, Blackstar, I assume that's a first name, last name? Star in the middle? I guess I don't know. Like, his full name, like, first name could be Blackstar. I guess I don't know. Because, yeah, Tsubaki does not have a last name. Right now, at least. Soul has Eater. Like, he is Soul Eater. Fair enough. First name Soul, last name Eater. And then the girls also, like, have first names and last names. So, yeah. I guess Sid is the weird one. This isn't a world where people don't have last names. Soul's fucking lost it. Hey, Soul, let's piss on Sid's grave. Yeah, let's do it. Let's poop on while we're at it. It'll be cool. What the fuck is happening? Sid, please attack them. You gotta attack them. They are going to die here if you don't attack them. God, he's so cool. Dying only made him look cooler. He was hot before, but he's cool now. I think the difference really is the teeth, actually. I guess he's not smiling here, so we can't tell if his teeth were like that originally. I assume not. Surely not, right? Sid is so cool. I think I am coming to terms with the fact that Soul just doesn't know how to do this well. Like, I guess, like, the Thompson sisters simply don't, like, partially transform. They just go all the way. Tsubaki is very good at partially transforming. Every time Soul does this, it looks like a fucking nightmare. It looks like a nightmare, not good. I guess that's also fair, because, like, nightmares are arguably pretty good in Soul Eater. But, like, this looks like dog shit. Jesus Christ, what are you doing, my man? Oh, also, the immediate rebuttal of, I was the kind of guy who always XYZ, with Sid-sensei wasn't the kind of man who would say things like that. God damn. Okay, also, they're one-star Meisters. Like, they are one-star at the very least. I guess that makes sense, because, again, they are, like, going out. They can just go around the world and kill people. Yeah, god damn. We're only one-star Meisters. Before he died, Sid-sensei was the highest rank, a 3-star Meister. Oh, the hook trees are so fucking cool. Now then, time for second period. When this period ends, you guys will be dead. Okay, why? For what purpose? Thank you for taking the color pages, Blair. Surely we weren't going to do anything with those. Can Blair go to the academy? She is a cat. So, like, she's not a witch. Theoretically, you could. I guess theoretically, if you have magic, can you go, like, can you be a Meister? That's a whole combination I don't think we've explored yet. Man, it is crazy. Giving a lecture about how, of course, a Meister and a weapon have to, be on the same soul wavelength in order to properly work, while beating someone to death with your gravestone? You're giving advice to people who are after your soul? I'm very passionate about teaching. That's the kind of man I was. God, he's so cool. Oh my god, he's so cool. Oh, this pose is so sick. Holy shit. Oh, we got an Evangelion-ass explosion. Oh my god. Yeah, that's actually really striking. Yeah, he's a knife meister. None of these moves are applicable to the way he used to fight. He's just that good. Okay, I don't know if... I guess Maka is a little scared. Like, it is the skill gap. Like, she's fully realizing it. Whereas, like, Blackstar, of course, I don't think he has ever realized that someone is stronger than him once in his life. So you can power through it. We're fine. Oh, god damn. Get him in the solar plexus. But, does he need to breathe? Man, he loves Tsubaki's shuriken mode. I would never have faith in this. Like, I guess, as long as she can control it, it's fine. But it takes a lot of faith to be like, I am going to throw away my entire weapon. And okay, he went in. Could she block it? Oh, sick. This is truly insane. I don't know how you draw this on model. Ridiculous. Holy fuck. AI could never. It's because people have fear. They try to get stronger. I feel like any chapter that traditionally does a you have to fight fear thing involves a a big black panel where someone has a super scared fisheye reaction and they're freaking out and they're like, oh no, I gotta run away, before they then come back in the third act. It is very striking that for that, even though Maka felt fear, she never she hesitated. That was it, really. But she didn't stop. She wasn't she didn't give up, which I guess also makes sense because the prologue is where she genuinely thought Soul had given up on her, that she did feel genuinely betrayed. That is something that if you do it twice in a row, I'm simultaneously thinking oh, she should have done it twice in a row, but at the same time, I feel like fundamentally that would make people like her as a character less. It's very, very tough to to simultaneously sell this is with the core of the character that they can't have fears and doubts without also making people go, well, why do I want to hang out with this person? They suck. This is a really good balance in which Maka fundamentally does not suck. Oh, and okay, they're gonna match their soul wavelengths for the first time. God damn, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, we didn't get to do a super we did get to do a finisher in the first in the prologue, but we didn't get to do this in the prologue. That really makes us distinct. Let's fucking go. It's resonance time. The great traditional technique of the Scythe Master, Witch Hunt Slash. Oh, the mouth on it. That's so sick. That's so cool. And they are in the Crescent Moon class. It is actually very striking that, her attack is, not just, of course, obviously a Scythe Blade, but also, a Crescent Moon. It goes all the way around here as well. Oh, looks so goddamn sick. Holy shit. Let's fucking go. Oh, okay. Oh, maybe let's not. Whew. Oh my god. For 1 microsecond, they were so cool. I want to keep it simple, says the girl who was all right, let's do Soul Resonance. Well, I guess to be fair, it was Soul who said, let's do the finisher. Never mind. Because we had the Witch Hunt Slash thing, I thought that was, I guess that is just her still saying it. They still are doing it. To be fair, I guess that's also why it didn't work. Again, Maka can feel fear. She was freaked out. They generated this amount of force, and she was already not on board with it. She was just doing it to do it. Oh, sick. Oh, how? Ooh, okay. He is he might be digleting around, but also he's using a tree branch like it's a knife. He's had to give up on looking flashy. He's had to go back to his actual specialty. They did freak him out. Oh, the hole in his head also looking like a third eye is sick as hell, actually. Damn. Oh, what Sid Sensei is doing is the way of assassination, rule 1. Okay, come on, Blackstar, you can do this. And okay, back to back makes sense. If they were separate, then you wouldn't know who's going to be attacked next. If everyone's in one location, he's gotta attack this location. And once more, his breathing has changed. Oh, but it's not a calm breathing. It's a giga huff. He's pressed. He's freaking out. There's not enough room for 2 assassins. I haven't been in the spotlight. Yeah, both times we have done a breathing change in him, it has been a subversion. Yeah, I forgot for a second. Right, Tsubaki's was also it was because Tsubaki had had copied him, whereas it seemed like he had gotten his breathing under control. When he eventually does get his breathing under control, he's going to be unstoppable. Man, it is actually very surprising that the prologues do not bring up the concept of soul wavelength, and then chapter 1 goes so hard on it, which makes sense, but still. Oh, so close. God damn. Oh, that expression. It's so good. Take an antiseptic after you eat. Yeah, I guess he is a zombie. Fair enough. Holy shit. Oh. God damn. Does kid just have a chair in his dad's house? I guess so. I guess most children have a chair in their parents' house if you think about it. She's already readying up the maca chop. Okay, how do we? I mean, again, yeah, he is a zombie. There's not a lot you can really do to him at this point. Oh, of course. I can't believe it. This was the kind of guy you were. It didn't do shit. Oh my god. All right, chapter 1, Soul's gonna die. Insane move. Insane. Like, even as he was doing it, he understood this was a fucking terrible idea. Oh my god. Wait, that wasn't the manga directing. The mirror did this. For what purpose? Why did you make the mirror like this? I guess, to be fair, the mirror also, what was this shot? Yeah, like, we have how do I put it? Like, we have an aerial shot here. How did he make the mirror do this? Oh, the data tag having a fucking scar on it. That's so cool. Man, Stein really is the absolute coolest. He really is the benchmark for the rest of the series on, like, will there ever be a character who looks as cool as Stein? I don't know. And if it never happens, it'll still, like, we could still have, like, an entire cavalcade of 10 out of 10 designs. That's how fucking cool he is. Oh, but right. Stein-kun was Death Sight's first partner. He was the strongest Meister to ever graduate from this school. Cool. Yeah, not gonna look at the previews, obviously. And then Tsuchiya. Okay, so of course Tsuchiya's already in danger. We've got the fucking filthiest rat on the planet trying to pull a Disney here. Okay, he infected the bar. We will continue to follow these over the course of the entire rest of the series. Oh, translator notes. Cool. I mean, I don't need the honorifics, but... Okay, so Shin Koroshi. Cool. You know, I do appreciate that... How do I put it? Like, these are translation and cultural notes, and... They are translation and cultural notes, including American culture. Like, you know, like, specifically pointing out, like, the Blair Witch Project or Al Capone, like, those are all things I'm really glad are in the notes, because obviously, like, you know, like, that's something everyone's gonna know. And it's also something where I could definitely see, like, you know, the translator looking at that and going, like, well, listen, I'm translating this into English. If you speak English, this is an English reference. Very much appreciated. Yeah, okay, so Mifune was a reference to Toshiro Mifune. Oh, you know, I didn't even consider, like, the Shinderu thing, of course, I did not consider, but also the idea that the cinder could have been from Cinderella. Sid Sensei, of course, being a Shido for a dead person. Man, that's a real death flag. God damn. But yeah, like, in the same way that Blair is, like, the most Halloween-themed character, it is funny in Soul Eater, a series about killing people and taking their souls, to have a character who is, like, extremely dead-themed, but not, like, death-themed. Dead-themed. Because, like, yeah, like, Sid's also got the ding-dong, dead-dong, which I guess is also just the sound of the bells at the school. He's got that. He's got the Sid thing. He's got the, you know, like, being a zombie at this point. His, you know, like, referencing the fact he's alive to, you know, he was alive to highlight the fact that he is dead now. Also, I gotta appreciate anyone who has this situation going on. Like, any translator who has just straight out, like, you know, like, they're doing it, like, you know, they're fudging it a little bit here. But, like, you know, having to say it more clearly would make it less clear. So to say directly, like, listen, desu is just a term that, you know, like, is it correct? Like, you know, like, it's a way to make things sound more polite. It's, you know, it's a thing that people will say. It sounds like death. It doesn't always mean that it sounds like death, but in this case, because this guy is very death-themed, it is supposed to sound like death. You gotta trust me on this one. Okay, that's also... I see. I do think having it be the third syllable and not the first syllable works way better in English. Like, yeah, I was about to say, it is interesting that, you know, we changed the order. But yeah, it's because, like, dead dong ding dong would sound fucking stupid. Also, yes, how would you explain, like, furigana, besides just saying, listen, written next to the words is another word. Just trust me on this. It's a lot better than, you know, like, Viz, who, for the most part, will, like, they strive to translate furigana in the bubble itself, which then creates the problem of, like, they'll have the character say something like "dead," also known as resurrected, which doesn't make any fucking sense. Whereas like there's no clean way to do it, like besides either just doing English furigana, like just having a word above the word in the bubble, which is perfectly fine. You can just do that. Or like the way that I think like scanlators used to do it. I don't know if they still do it, but like like having like like writing it one way in the bubble and then having like in the margins having a line that is like like written as this, which is also a bit of a lie, but listen, you gotta obfuscate a little bit. Oh, Kaiteki Tazura is a reference to the return of Ultraman. Insane. I mean, it's a very like famous like like indie movie is the wrong way to put it. Skit, I suppose. Thing that Hideaki Anno decided to do. Yeah, cool. Okay, cool. That is volume 1 done. I will see you for volume 2. Hold up. Before we continue, my fiance put together some like collected versions for the volumes that I like. Starting with volume 2, I'll read those. They have like extra arts in the like actual volume structure itself. Very excited about that. I did not read that version for volume 1 because I also had the like the entire Viz version and downloaded on my computer, and so I just chose that volume 1. So going forward, I'll be reading the versions with the extra arts, but in lieu of being able to do that with volume 1, I'll just look at all the art now at the very end. Starting off, of course, with the Perfect Edition cover. I actually don't know what the actual like Japanese cover of Soul Eater looks like. Like, what the, like this version looks like in Japanese. Give me a second. I don't know what I expected. It is like 1-to-1. Actually, I can do this now. I can toggle between them. So you can see, like, yeah, it really is just, like no Gongon. Like Ohkubo's name is translated. And also, like, presumably this is like a katakana explaining how to say Soul Eater, or saying this is how it's pronounced. Because this is katakana actually. I guess that makes sense. Fair enough. Oh, that is really cool though, because that is saying both like like the literal like the main title of the series is in English, which plenty of things do, just because English looks cool. But like Soul Eater also has a very foreign vibe to it. And so it makes sense that also like like even the way it's written out is not like it's not like writing in kanji consumer of souls or something. It is like still Soul Eater. That's really neat. It makes a lot of sense. It aligns very well. So yeah, like damn. In that case, I can say definitively that I do think the original cover in both English and Japanese is better than the Perfect Edition cover in that it's a fine cover. It's perfectly fine. I understand the desire to like like a lot of the people buying this, I imagine, are people buying it for the second time. You want to get the like whether it's the more like collected edition, whether it's like better quality, whether it's got like extras or like whatnot. But yeah, like the vibe of it feels too premium in a sense. It feels a little too clean. Like like just having Maka here feels less cluttered, which again makes sense because I assume also like my fiance is going through this right now with Fist of the North Star, where the like the ultimate editions or whatever the fuck they're called, like have new art for like selected characters, but because of that, because they're trying to like put on like like all the characters people really wanted in these like versions, were also like they've shrunk like they've condensed the volumes. There's plenty of characters that just do not get representation, or they get really weird representation relative to where they are. So, like, I can understand wanting definitively to be like, yeah, volume 1 is Maka. Like, Soul's not here, Blair's not here, of course, fair enough. It does feel a little weird, though. That plus just the, like, the black on black also feels inherently really weird, just because, it doesn't pop as much. It does have a more premium feel to it, especially because I assume, like, the cover's probably more glossy, or it might even be a hardcover, who can say? But yeah, not a super big fan. Also, to be fair, like there's a layer to it of I'm curious to see Ohkubo's like art evolving, because like in Fire Force, it's already like it's at an interesting point compared to like early Soul Eater. Early Soul Eater is a lot like a lot of other early manga, where like you start your series, everything's a little more rough, everyone's a little more round. You're putting in extra lines that you don't need because you haven't been crushed to death by the hell of having to serialize. And as a result, I do like the way Maka looks here is great. I mean, honestly, she looks better on the cover than she does in the volume itself. I think there's a good like middle ground there. Whereas like here, she's a little too flat. It's still perfectly fine. I don't want to come off like I'm hating. I just wanted to, yeah. Oh, thank God we got like I assume these are like the clean versions from the from one of the art books or so. Oh, because also okay, that does actually change the mathematics of it. If like Soul is also represented on this like volume, but on the back cover as opposed to on the front cover. Yeah, with the way they're aligned, it's gotta be back cover, front cover. There's no way this is like inside outside. But yeah, that does change it because like if we're doing Meisters on one side, weapons on the other side, that'd be pretty sick. I assume you could probably do that like going forward. Depending on like whether we end up doing a volume with like a split, but even then, if these are maybe like shrunk down a bit, that might work out. We'll see. But yeah, also cleaner. I can appreciate the art a bit better, but yeah, I think I still have the same complaint with like Maka in particular. Her eyes look a little too dead here. I think that's the main thing that's really standing out to me compared to like here where you can see the shine in them. She has this confidence, but she still looks like really young as well. Like how do I put it? Like it's something that I've realized also like is a big feature of like her boots and her I don't even remember what these are called again. These things. Like, they're all oversized, which really enhances the feeling she has of, like, she is not old enough. She is not big enough. She's not, like, she is explicitly not an adult in every, like, visual indicator, which also contrasts really well with Blair. Like, Blair is a clear indicator of, like, this is the design of an adult woman who is also a cat. As Maka's, as Prologue 1 points out, Maka feels, in a sense, like someone who's going to be cheated on. There is a, like, small inferiority complex there. And that says a lot about, like, her dynamic with Soul and the fact that she thinks he might really cheat on her. But yeah, there's just a lot of, like, strong visual storytelling here that I suppose you don't really need when, like, on a deluxe edition, because it's also a bit of a redo. Like, you're telling much more of a story with the original editions, whereas, like, on a redo, that is more of a, like, just play me the hits. I just want to see everyone one more time. Give me new art for everyone. Do something cool that'll make me go, like, damn, this is awesome. Or, oh, I want to, line these all up on my bookshelf and then flip them over every once in a while. Okay, there's a Blair? Well, I guess, her background is different. Or maybe she's, like, an inside cover. Damn, she looks great. Interestingly enough, I do think my complaints for Maka also apply to Blair. I'm curious to see how the other guys look like, like on the Redux then. Because like Blair also looks too young. And that might also just be the angle, like whoa, sorry. But like here, it is a like looking up shot, which both like, emphasizes that Maka is small and also emphasizes that Blair is physically larger than her. Like she needs to be sitting on the pumpkin to like take up some of the same space. She's like, fondling Soul. It's just banging. Whereas like a Blair by herself, perfectly fine, still cute, but the vibe is very different. Oh, sick. Yeah, like totally isolated like this. This looks so goddamn cool. Man, is Soul constantly getting panty shots, or is it the opposite of like, because the eyes here, he literally couldn't even if he wanted to? I suppose he'd have to like shift his head, right? But yeah, like this is a banging a trio shot. That also like, like having Blair at the very tip, like again, feels a lot like when she's fondling the tip here. It is a simultaneous like, even though she is physically way smaller, I feel like it does a similar thing. Like same with, like having the hat on, it both like signifies that she's quote unquote a witch, but not really. But also it allows her to take up more space. Same with like the tail, the fact that it's flaring out. But then Maka having her, tail, so to speak, flare out. But like it still emphasizes that she's, like she's more into it. She's got more of a foothold on what's going on now. She's also dominating Soul. Man, Blair's so cute. Oh my god. Soul Eater and FMA were running at the same time? Oh, I assume this is a like TV announcement for Fullmetal Alchemist. Like I assume for the original anime. Damn. Holy shit. Crazy. But yeah, it is also a big flex of like, like Ohkubo is back. Like he's here. We're doing it. We're coming back in. I mean, as expected, with like the whole structure of the start of this, the 3 one-shots and of chapter 1, like clearly people were hyped. I don't think like it's hard to even imagine like a modern mangaka being able to do that. Like to be fair, this is also doing way more. This is like like putting in way more effort, like delivering way more pages. So it is like a bit of a self own. That's also a like like a way to like show that you're dead serious about this. Whereas I feel like the more modern thing, because mangaka don't want to die, is to instead like if you've done a big series, then you come back and you're like, I'm gonna do a series for you, but it's gonna be digital, or I'm gonna have breaks, or like some other like concession there. I'm gonna like it's gonna be full on like I'm gonna draw digitally and you gotta subsidize my my tablets or something, like anything that will allow them to like survive, as opposed to Ohkubo, who of course like a madman seems to have gone full on and just like, no, I'm just gonna do 4 extremely long volumes, or 4 extremely long like chapters. Okay, so this was like also the promo image for this. Damn. Yeah, again, very strong, very dominating, very like it's a cool way to like simultaneously make both of them feel so like important and big. Like Soul takes more of the space here, just by his positioning, but he's also in a pose that is way more subservient. It feels a little like Black Butler-esque. Though even then, like for Black Butler, for like Fabricant 100, a lot of those feature like like a servant who is physically large and powerful, like Helsing. I don't remember if Helsing had any like promo images like that, but like that tends to be the dynamic of like like the Maka of the duo would then be like de-emphasized, but still in a position of power to show like, oh, I'm badass because this monster is like under my beck and call. Whereas this is the reverse of just a way more straightforward, I am like, I am the one who wields the soul. I'm going to reach into his spine and turn him into a scythe. I am going to peg this boy. Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Okay, so this was like, like I see for like a drama CD or something. The giant CD should have tipped me off. Whereas this is then like, the like TV on air. Which again is crazy that it's like a trio shot. Like it is definitive, like Full Metal Alchemist, big text here, and then Soul Eater, big text over here. Like it is like as close to as you can get to a collaboration cover without them like going out for ice cream. Damn. Like that says so much about the big push here, which also makes a lot of sense because they're both gigantic series in the future. That's the thing that's crazy. Like, I know Full Metal Alchemist was, insanely explosively powerful, like, like from very, very early on. For them to truly hype up Ohkubo to this point is so goddamn cool. And okay, so they also like reused, or I guess reused is a funny way to put it. I suppose it'd be more like, like the physical volumes then collect the art that was used here, just, in a cleaner way. Also, we got whole ass bottoms for these kids. Like that's crazy. I suppose you could have like drawn in the bottom parts here instead of like doing the whole asset for the cover. But either way, damn. This is something I've also actually noticed in Jump, which is the thing I mainly read. You can really tell with certain project, like certain covers of Jump, like what the style of each mangaka is, because some of them like. When English Jump does a banner, they have to take all the assets from the Japanese version and like move them around because like the Japanese version is laid out like this. It's more vertical, whereas the English banner is way more horizontal. And so if someone like draws exactly this, like if it was, Maka and Soul exactly like this, then there's not a lot you can really do with that. Like you gotta like put some fuzziness on the bottom. You gotta like, like even if it's a banner, it's mainly just gonna be, background on every direction, and then there's like a little square that has the characters, and that's very clear. Like, okay, the mangaka didn't draw anything else, as opposed to like something like this where if Ohkubo did draw the entire thing, and this was also like 20 years later, and they had like the digital assets, it'd be much easier to then like, when they're giving it to like, an external licensor to be like, oh, by the way, here's the full Maka and the full Soul. You can have them sideways. You can, like twist them around. You can have them, one of them right side up and one of them upside down. Are they supposed to be sitting here, actually? Like, they could be walking. But this also has a, like, I guess you can, like, like man spread even when you're walking. That is, like, like the cowboy thing to do. But it's like that combined with Maka sitting like or standing like this, which I don't take as a very her thing. Like even when she's like responding to a weird pervy moment, it's it's usually with like a violence, what rather than being demure. Whereas this feels way more like like just a natural sitting position. We got the triple threat of like original, clean but black and white, full but clean color. Damn. She got like a little like :3 smile here. Cute, cute, cute. I think it's only hitting me right now that Soul Eater is, again, not as a dunk. I feel like I've been saying a lot of shit in this epilogue that's been dunk worthy, but Soul Eater is a pretty generic name, isn't it? Like every weapon wants to eat 99 souls, like 99 human souls and 1 witch soul. They are all soul eaters, but Soul Eater is the only one who is like, my first name is Soul and my last name is Eater. It's cool out of universe, but in universe, that's gotta be kind of lame, right? Because also, yeah, I'm sure I've noticed this in the past, but the fact that even his hat is like Soul over here, and then like the the little like button that says eat on it that has a mouth, like it's his one trait. Again, if Maka made Soul, I suppose then that's like that's a dunk on Maka. Listen to the beat of the soul. Okay, now I think we're just in the volume itself, so I'll just keep going until I see any extra arts. Ooh, got the clean version of Maka setting here, which also, actually, like, when I was talking about the shot where, like, Blair was here too, I thought this was the exact same art, but, like, with this part isolated. But no, like, Maka standing there is actually entirely different. It's just, a similar-ish pose, which makes a lot of sense. Like, how do I put it? This pose really encapsulates a lot of the the vibe that I think makes Soul Eater very interesting. It is I supposed to say it again, like the Halloween aesthetic, but in this case, not just the Halloween is in spooky, you are in a Halloween story, but like the way in which we treat Halloween in the real world, where it's like there is a bunch of spooky stuff, but it's fine, don't worry about it. That you can be scared, but only as much as you want to be scared. Like that's kind of the vibe I get here. Like, Maka's whole the demeanor is so normal, so relaxed. Like, she goes to this school. This is a world she exists within. This isn't that big of a deal. Even like her stabbing Soul into like the area you're supposed to sit on, so she can sit like 1 meter higher. That does have this like this feeling of dominance. It is a true like I am acclimated to this world. I didn't even realize that the digital scans do not have the actual image on the back cover, which I don't have a ton to say about necessarily, but I am glad it is here. Like the vibe is cool as hell. The 4242564. Okay, cool. Now I can properly read volume 2. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. I know the first bit's a bit rough, but I had a good time at the very least. And going on forward to volume 2, this will continue to be a fun time, so I'll catch you there for that. Until next time, bye for now. Yeah.